welcome to the official after show of WGN America's Outsiders here at thestream.tv. I'm your host, Josh Macuga. We had an episode, guys. We had an unbelievable episode, maybe one of the craziest of the season. The battle continues between good and evil. There's planes flying in, helicopters, the Farrells, the people. We got so much to talk about. I'm so excited here. As always, unfortunately, Nicole Sterling, she's out. We kicked her out. She now lives on the mountain with, no, I'm kidding. She'll be back next time. Chris Underwood, Tiffany Commons, Brett Wagner with a stick. Are you our Brennan today?
I'm just a fill-in Brennan today.
Just a fill-in Brennan.
Just fill-in Brennan.
So another powerful episode. As we see, things are really starting to kind of go down between the people, Blackburg and our people up there on Shea Mountain. At the center of all of it is Haley Grimes, who may or may not be just terrible. And she's had a wild ride this episode, and we are lucky enough to have actress Francie Swift break it all down and tell us all about the predicament she's in right now with this exclusive video. Check it out.
Who sent you guys? Marker.
Background and action.
Are we ever going to have a conversation that doesn't start with you threatening to sick law enforcement on me?
I think the real question is, why are we having so many conversations? Gordon is, if that is his real name, is a community activist. He's kind of a professional activist.
If I can't take you to see the thing that you're killing, maybe I bring what you're killing to you.
Sometimes I think his passion for his cause can cloud his judgment. He's a real ladies' man, a real ladies' man. You have got to be kidding me. That's the worst pickup line I've ever heard in my life. And he's more complicated than that. Haley isn't sure. She has to feel him out. She's not sure what his angle is, what he's after, and how she's going to use that.
Very good.
Incredible stuff. Thank you so much, Francie. Obviously, listen, I personally think Haley Grimes means well. I really do. She may be pulling some strings here and there, but she works for the man. So that's the predicament she's in, and that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, but who used who?
Yeah, well, listen. We talked to Gordon last week. The dude loves the ladies. This week. If anything, we'll get in a little fusser later, but he's pulling full Gordon up there on Shea Mountain right now. So we have this whole thing, and we knew that something was going to happen with that CD or something of that nature. We talked about it last week, but now that this email hack is going on, first of all, let's talk about that moment that Haley Grimes realizes, oh, S word, we just did this.
Shiznit.
Oh, shiz.
Yes. Gordon might have got
right?
me.
Like, we had sex in a hotel. Oh, I should have.
One night. One night of passion. But
No, she's like, I take cybersecurity really seriously. Oh, wait, I did. I had sex with a random guy who was a hippie in a hotel room. That's probably what started all this. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. And Matt Myers, man, let's talk about ruthless people.
Wow.
That dude's the ruthless guy.
And I think that just goes to show that she, they're not really protecting her own. And I had a newfound respect for Haley. Like, I'm against the coal company. I'm all about the Farrells and the mountain. But as a woman who's, like, going up the corporate ladder, and she basically has to defend herself, defend her title, and now has to defend it with Matt, like, I appreciated how she brought it. I appreciate how she stood up to him either way.
Maybe one of the better bar scenes you'll ever see in a television show.
Oh, yeah. Better bar scene.
Yes.
Well, how about just a great acting scene in acting history, period. The lines, the way they were looking at each other, that vengeance in her eye. She bored holes through Matt Myers.
Yeah.
And a couple great lines.
Yes.
What was the...
If I will crawl across glass before I let you run a game on me.
Boom!
Boom!
This whole episode, though, I mean, this might have been my favorite episode thus far this season.
Okay.
I mean, there were so many great moments from the beginning to the end, and a lot of small moments, lots of symbolism between, Sally Ann reading to her unborn child, but also kind of reading to Hassel. And then, even at the very beginning, when they dropped all the fertilizer on the crops, and then you see the farmer, I didn't catch his name,
Yeah,
he starts puking, kind of, and then it cuts to Letta, who starts puking. So you get that parallel there, and sort of symbolism of what stuff I can do. Yeah, it was just like that throughout the whole way.
I definitely think my favorite episode. But she did say, look, I've given up my marriage and my kids for this company.
Right.
Yeah, she kind of showed her heart there in the car. She was looking at photos of the kids, smoking a cigarette, started crying a little
And we
bit.
haven't really, I mean, let's be honest, all we saw last season of Haley Grimes was that she's out to take this mountain, right? And, you know, then Matt Myers puts up this fence, and for all intents and purposes, I don't think that she was really on board with the fence idea. Now, she had a moment of weakness at a bar with a dude that has, for some reason, has incredible lady skills. I don't know what this dude is legitimate Ryan Gosling of small town America,
And she probably needed that. My guess is it's probably been pretty slow in that department in her months
She has
and
given
yeah.
her marriage.
For
But when you are the
Yeah.
ice queen.
everybody has a little carnal knowledge every now and then.
Yeah.
And listen, he's a charming dude, but you gotta be a little more careful about what's happening with your personal space when it comes to a dude that may or is it not only an environmental terrorist, I'm calling him a terrorist, he now is a cyber terrorist, and he's committed fraud, he's committed assault, if you call throwing coal on a coal princess, right?
And I
You
didn't
don't
think-
trust the guy.
I
You can
didn't
sleep
think-
with him all you want. You don't trust
I
him.
didn't think Gordon had all of that in him. I mean, you know, yes, be an activist, but I didn't realize the skill set of such an activist can go and, you know, take down computers and companies and such.
You thought they were all morons.
Well,
I mean, you know, tree huggers. No offense.
Yeah.
They hug trees.
And
Now we pissed off a whole bunch.
I hug trees regularly. Believe me, just somebody just say that. I love tree hugging.
I'm probably allergic to them.
I wake up in the morning, I hug trees before I hug my children.
Yes.
Good. That's a good cover, Chris.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
you
you.
did that. You did that well. Way to cover it up there.
But she did, you know, she did have that moment too. She's like, you know, when he says, well, you did, you know, let a Dobbs, you changed the insurance. And she said, well, sometimes, you know, it's the right thing to do. I mean, it's the
You're a human being.
You're a human being.
Yeah.
So
do you think that she knows that they're poisoning the lake and they are spraying the
I'm
crops
not
with Agent
sure.
Orange?
I'm not sure. I sort of feel like maybe she doesn't.
I don't think she knows.
I think
You
we'll
don't think
find
she
out in 2
knows? No.
weeks.
Well, yeah.
We're going to find out because in the previews they show, you know.
But if you were Haley Grimes, is that
I don't
something
think
we
she
think
knows.
that?
I don't think she knows now.
Because they're turning. I mean, we're basically seeing that she's an actual human being.
Yes, and I feel like that this might be a turning point for her, considering she was having that moment, for the company to turn back on her as much as she's given up for them, and then to see that child lay there dead, that she essentially helped put in the grave.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what if she's gonna, switch sides? I mean,
Yeah.
she's starting to have some regret. You saw her looking at her phone, picture of her kid. She's gonna go out there. Maybe she doesn't know about what's been going on. She sees the dead kid. Maybe she ends up helping the Farrells.
Yeah,
Well, so what do we think happens with Haley Grimes up there in the mountain?
I think she's gonna be changed. It's gonna be a changing.
She's gonna come down dressed in a little dirtier of a skirt and a braid.
Yes, little braid.
Okay.
I can see her.
flowing.
I can see her becoming Brennan some way, somehow. You're right.
I can see her hooking up with somebody up there, maybe staying up there. But no,
Little
I
Foster's
on a train,
his
man.
his TV door's open.
Yeah.
His
Don't knock.
TP
Just
door.
come on in.
Come on,
The
right?
TP door is open. That's the best line of tonight. But I think she's gonna do what she needs to do to get off of that mountain, and she may be touched, and she may think about her kids and everything. But I think once she gets back down to the, if she gets back down, she's got a job to do.
Right.
She makes a lot of money. You gonna tell me she
has a job to do, but they've already showed their loyalty to her, and they don't have
And
it.
she's got a slam dunk lawsuit. So I mean,
Slam
she's got
dunk- slam dunk lawsuit, and she sees that. I mean, personally, for me, I think that she has a full 180, and she goes down there to expose the coal company and what they're doing, along with Matt Myers, because we
she
obviously.
might disappear then, because you know what happens when there's billions of dollars at stake. People disappear.
Yeah, we read spy novels there, Brett. We get it.
She might disappear then.
Yeah.
This isn't Jimmy Hoffa.
She may end up in a Honda on the way to, crushed Honda.
This isn't a labor union disappearance in the 50s.
Yeah, Hoffa's out there. Let's kind of think about the coal company, the exposing of the coal company, and what Haley Grimes is able to do to help the Farrells, because that's what I think is going to happen. Yeah. Because, like we said, we are finally seeing the human side of Haley Grimes. She sees her kids, she sees her wife, her husband. Her whole life is a total sham now. She's literally crawling through glass. Even though she said it at the bar, because she's just rolling around in glass now. She's bleeding out everywhere, because now she's up on the mountain. Everything is going wrong for Haley Grimes at this point, because she's tried to make the right decision. Every time she does, it backfires on her. So maybe she sees that mountain is the right thing to do. At the beginning, she didn't think so. Now she's coming back to help the Farrells out. at
You
the
turned
bottom.
into Nicole Sterling all of a sudden, real quick
Well,
with your
someone has to-
conspiracy
someone
thing.
has to take the mantle. Someone has to
Hey,
do it.
listen,
I agree.
you
I
may be
agree.
right.
Maybe
You
that
may
should
be
be the-
right,
yeah.
but I just think that
I've got brown eyes, brown hair.
you know, listen, those eyes are starting to make me change my mind a little bit.
There
Maybe
you
that
go.
should be the conspiracy stick. Whoever has that spouts
No,
outlandish
keep your
conspiracy.
stick.
All right.
Keep
You're
the
our
stick.
Brennan. It's
Thank
fine.
you, buddy.
Okay, so now obviously we saw what happens when they spray it. We're up there on the mountain. The Farrells are really in a bind here because they're basically
Poison the water, too.
They're being smoked out from the sky, and they're being, from the ground as well. They don't. Do they even have a water supply? Was that their only water supply?
I feel like whatever's happening to them definitely happened to the McKennas before they got over there. Like once they got transitioned. So they probably tested it on one side of the mountain, and now it's trickling
Oh, you think
trickling
they took
over.
the McKenna out?
Yeah.
There's a
Wow.
fence too, so they may only be able to access certain parts of the mountain. So maybe they just,
Hold on, let me pass that stick over.
Yeah.
Maybe they just crop dusted their part. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know.
They got to have another water supply. I mean, a mountain's going to have different springs and whatnot,
But
especially
if,
a big
if
mountain
the
like
other
that.
side's already been tapped out,
Well,
now this side.
But what you
how
did
many
see,
sides of water
you
do
did
they
see
have?
who took charge. Gwen all of a sudden.
She's a wartime Brennan
She's a
now.
wartime Brennan. Wartime Brennan. Very nice. She became General Patton real quick.
There you go. Here's the thing. I think that what's next? What are they going to do next to them? They're not going to stop, and that's where this Haley Grimes kidnapping comes in because they only have so many options, right? Brennan came in, wartime Brennan, saying we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do that, just throwing the hammer down. So rally the troops, get everybody together. They're not going to stop. Matt Myers, doesn't matter if there's an email leak or not.
No.
That dude's coming in.
They're going
guns
to view
blazing.
the kidnapping of Haley
Oh, yeah.
Grimes as a gift.
The shoe,
As
the
a gift,
car,
it's-
everything's sitting there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
But they're going to treat it as a gift, the
You're
coal
absolutely
company,
right.
because
Yeah,
they're going to be
they're not
like, this is great. It gives us the ammunition we need, literally and figuratively, to go do whatever we want to the Farrells. So
Is it weird to you guys that when the helicopter went up there that there wasn't some sort of action taken, that it sort of went up there and then took off?
Honestly.
By the
And I felt bad. I was like, have they seen a helicopter before?
Right.
I felt like they should have been panicking a little bit
shoot
more.
at the sky thing.
the Sky Demon!
The sky demon.
Oh,
Check 'em
no.
out.
But I realized they have been down
Yes.
to the regular town. But my first thought was, that should be really scary for them. This
sure.
flying bird of metal.
I would be scared.
I'm saying.
Big Foster knew that the helicopter, that cars were a thing. He obviously knew how to drive because he
Yeah.
can drive the four-wheeler.
Man, whipping it like he just goes down the street every
I'm glad
day.
you said that though, because there's a scene where he's driving, where he's got literally one hand on it. And he's kind of just
Lean back.
Just leaning back, yeah.
knows his
By the
stuff.
way, does this work though? You see this in movies and TV shows all the time, where they grab the knife and they just stick it into the ignition, they turn and the car starts. You've been to jail, Brett. Does that work?
It's usually a screwdriver, and yes, it works.
Okay, fair enough. All right, good. I can rest now because I didn't know that was accurate.
Oh, y'all know that
yes.
Brett knows how to jumpstart a car.
That's not jump starting.
Whatever.
That's hot wiring.
Hot wiring. I apologize.
Hot wiring's a little different, but yes, you can start with the screwdriver.
My
That's how
lingo
you
for
feel.
car thievery
Yes.
is not up
But
to
it was
par.
Yes.
it was very. At least they played it out that way. Like he's driving through town. Imagine how many hours he's just like
Yes.
driving through town because he doesn't. I'll go find him.
Right.
You know. I mean,
And
I
then
know
he's not a big
Blackbird's a
town.
small.
And then he messes up Sally Ann's birthday at the
Yes.
Denny's and the flowers and
Yes.
everything.
And picture of that food looked pretty good. Not gonna lie.
I did.
Now, okay, we've got our guy in town, our boy, Sheriff Wade Houghton, and he's finally getting a little,
Yeah.
yeah.
They got a little game.
When first of all, I have to say, when he talks to his niece about church and God,
That's awesome.
Wow.
So awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because usually in that situation, you get that, like, you got to go to church. It's good for you. He's like, it's all this stuff is BS. I never believed it. I don't know if I believe it, but we got to do something because it makes your mother happy.
Yes.
Right?
Do
and
it.
I thought that was such a cool thing because those two girls are going through an awful time in their life. And we haven't seen that classic TV show thing where the girl's like, man, I don't want to do it. I'm smoking cigarettes now and I'm pregnant. Right? They are just normal
That's what
girls and they're
happens in
going
small
through some
towns.
They're going through a time. And the fact that Sheriff Wade Houghton is cool enough to say to those girls, hey, this is BS. I'm sorry. We have to do it. This is how I believe, but let's make your mom happy. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this town girl. So Wade Houghton back in the day, may have been crush-worthy, you know? Because right now, he's all sweaty, all hopped up on Oxycontin sometimes. Isn't exactly
wasn't a
the
good
picture
look.
of attractive.
I love
definitely
that.
not a good look.
It also says a lot to his character. Really, that kind of speech he gives his niece says what Wade's all about. I mean, he sacrifices for other people. He's a really good guy. And yeah, I love watching him flirt was awesome. And then like when he gets the beer at the restaurant, and he's like,
I don't think that was.
You know,
I
I
don't
mean,
think that was flirting.
I didn't think it was flirting either, but I could
little
see
bit,
it.
I think he was a little flirty.
his niece thought it was flirting. The niece thought it was flirting.
They thought it was. They were giggling. They thought it was cute. Oh, look at Uncle.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, look,
Wade and the new girl sitting in the tree.
at least I applaud him from trying, at least trying to put himself out there, even if he didn't necessarily want to put himself out there. But the missus definitely was feeling
A
Wade.
nice little moment for Father Wade Houghton.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But let's talk about that kiss, man.
Yeah.
That was a good kiss. Even
it's been a while.
I turned to my wife and kissed her passionately after that. Wade got a little gay. He knows what he's doing, and he went in for twice. Let me give him some more of that. Twice.
When I grow out the mustache, ladies find it irresistible. So I know what it's like to be Sheriff Wade Houghton. You got that big country mustache. The ladies can't deny it. Even when you break down at seems like another Denny's. You break down crying into your beer. You go outside and you cry. Again, not a great look on a first date,
No.
bawling about your ex-wife or your situation or whatever.
Everyone dying.
Everyone dying.
But take a ride on the mustache.
But sometimes that vulnerability works. And
Yeah.
we see it with Sheriff Wade Houghton. Do you think this was just, did you guys, because I kind of like cheered a little bit for.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely needed that. He definitely. I don't think he thought of himself moving on to in a relationship. He's just focusing on his son, and now focusing on his nieces because his sister was gonna be dying. But now that he sees like, oh wait, I can have a relationship. Oh, I can have me a nice woman on my arm. I can do that.
Do you think we're going to see her again?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
4 more episodes.
Yeah. I feel like she's
Sheriff
gonna
getting it
implant
on.
herself into his life.
Ooh, interesting choice of words.
Yes.
Yeah, she's definitely the aggressor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is there something going on?
Oh, see?
Is there ulterior motives?
My God, I hope not. Come on, just win one for Sheriff
Let
Wade
the man
Houghton.
just have one good
Give him
shag,
one
for God's
thing.
sake.
Here too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, with Letta, she sees Elon, who she thinks is an image of Brees as a kid, and she finds the picture and I'm like, I don't look a lot like him. It's like he kind of got the same bowl haircut, but when you're sick and you're wanting anything, I think she saw like, hey, this is my man. This is it. What did you guys think of that whole?
Well, remember though, Elon went and saw Big Foster, and then all of a sudden Gwen was better.
Yeah.
Goes and sees Letta, and then all of a sudden her cancer's in remission. So maybe he's like the
Remember,
healer
as
or
we
some
said,
sort.
like Elon and the wolves are the protectors of that mountain. They protect the people that help that mountain. The people are trying to save. Who's trying to save the mountain? Letta's trying to save the mountain. So that's how I correlated. He came. He said, "Look, I know what you're doing. You're doing something good for my people, for us." So
Yeah.
that was my real nice,
that was-
soft take on that.
That was.
Thank you.
That was a slow jam.
That was a slow jam.
We don't have that
We don't
CD.
have that.
Where's
I
our
borrowed
slow
it. I
jam?
borrowed it.
Oh, there, I figured.
sorry.
I mean, he got intimate with his wife after a lovely kiss from Sheriff Wade Houghton.
man.
That's the
Another slow
first.
jam?
That's the first time Sheriff Wade Houghton has turned on the
Anybody.
entire Outsiders audience for sure. Now let's move on to our boy, little Foster. We had hoped the best for little Foster. We'd hoped he'd come back and kind of take that Brennan stick or just be the hero that the mountain needs. He went the Josh Macuga route. He went up there. He's drinking that shine and really just mixing it up with the ladies.
He's toasting as the ship's sinking.
Yes, he is.
Hey.
He's been through a lot. He was in prison, like hardcore prison, 2 months, killing people, broke free of the bus. I mean,
Speaking of which, my
he needs
new
a moment.
favorite secondary character who kind of just echoed what you said, Barnabas.
Yeah.
He goes, well, he has been in prison for a while.
I mean, give the guy some credit.
That name Barnabas is perfect.
Perfect.
But it is like a 180. I mean, there's a 360, swap here. All of a sudden, he's, we all think he's coming back, and now he's whoring it up in a tent,
But
and
it shows you too, like he goes to the material world, and all of a sudden his ideals change.
Well,
he comes back a completely different man. You're kind of pure up on the mountain, and once you're exposed the way he was exposed, he's completely different.
well, it seems like killing the Aryan Brotherhood guy is really has screwed him up. I didn't think it would. I thought it was just, hey.
Well, I honestly it was a really ominous way that he talks to Gwen about, we don't have much time left up here. I'm just gonna, again, like you said, drinking as the ship is sinking. And I thought of anybody, when he gets back on the mountain, he covers himself and he dips himself in the thing, that this was going to be him, like really embracing the mountain. But he really took that 180. Listen, I got to say, look like the most fun they've had up on Shea Mountain for a while.
Yeah.
Every time they're dancing and singing with the shine, it's awesome. But Lil Foster's teepee,
Yeah.
doors wide
strip
open.
games?
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, even Hassel's like, crap, I got to get back up to that mountain. That looks so much fun. Is there any hope right now for Lil Foster?
I think something, well, I mean, hopefully with him seeing that his people are dying, that he will take a stand against it. Because right now, he's hurt on a different level. Like, you know, that PTSD from being in prison. Prison reform, this is a good message for prison reform. It doesn't really reform you.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you worse.
Look at Brett.
Got me in a
He
nice
went in with
jacket
the
today.
stick, and then he comes out, he's got
Got
it.
me in a nice jacket today, but what's going to happen is he's going to find out that he might be a dad. Who's
That's
the
where I
dad?
was about to go.
He might be. Sorry about that.
No,
he
come
might be
on,
a dad.
Before we move on to that,
Sorry.
let's talk about this. What do we think is next for Lil Foster? What is he gonna do? Because he can't just be banging around all night.
Well,
he can.
Well, he's
And
gonna.
it sounds awesome.
I mean,
but,
there's a young kid that just died, so, and now all of a sudden you got Haley Grimes on the mountain, so he's gonna have to come to his senses, and I don't know if it's gonna take another tragedy. It might take another tragedy.
I said that. I was just saying about another tragedy, but then I thought about it. You know, those wolves are good for, like, whipping people into shape. So
Yeah.
either you stand up or I'm going to take your leg off. So it might go that
Might eat a
route.
couple of his girls.
don't be touching Lil Foster's girls. They mean well. They're just in a little bit of a transition time.
Can I talk about something though? With Big Foster comes in and kind of scolds Little Foster, and Little Foster's like, "What do you know? Or what do you care?" You know.
Yeah.
And Big Foster says something about one of their babies had died before you. Was he talking about the 7th, or I mean, it was really
They
it
glazed
was kind
over
of
it so
open-ended.
quickly.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of don't know what he was referencing, but obviously there was.
That might be the mention of Foster Farrell the 7th. I mean,
I
obviously,
mean, it could have been a miscarriage. It could have been a bunch of things.
could have been a daughter.
Yeah,
Could
yeah.
have been, you know, or you know, it
Could
could
be
have
he's
been.
not even dead. What if it's not? What if he's been putting it on, and then all of a sudden later on he's going to drop a bombshell and say, "All right,
Again, Foster Farrell the 7th could be Sheriff Wade Houghton. We
Yes.
don't
Yeah,
know.
we don't know. But you did. But it was a nice catch because I
Yeah.
didn't catch it real quick. I was looking at
caught
the
it.
silhouettes for the tent. from the view
Before we
from-
move on,
All the
before we
women.
move on to what you teased a little bit with
Yeah.
Gwen's pregnancy, let's talk real quickly about Hassel and his situation, because that moment with Sally Ann and Hassel in the diner was lovely. She kind of lays it on him, and you know, he goes in. I love that moment with Big Foster and Hassel, and he's like, I'm a Farrell. This is what I have to do, and Ged Ya. That was the best Ged Ya we've had on the show. But when he gets in the car and he leaves Sally Ann, he's like, I've got to protect my people. And I really dug that. I thought that was a really powerful move by Hassel, but also that because he did it with Big Foster's like, don't worry about it. I will get you and Sally Ann. You should be back up on the mountain. And he goes back to what we were kind of talking about. Do we think that they should be up on the mountain?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
100% right now. Yeah.
What are you smirking at, girl?
I don't know. I mean, Sally Ann is feisty. I don't know if they can take her type of flavor on the mountain. I'm just saying.
She might do some good for him.
I'm not saying that she wouldn't do good, but
Might
I
be
feel
able
like
to
there'd be
teach
a
them
lot
all.
of button of heads.
Might be able to teach them all how to read.
But did you see how
It's like
they?
Turtle.
Oh, that's a great.
True.
Turtle. Did you see how they? It's amazing. You can lop off 3 fingers on a guy, and then after that, it's all said and done. They can sit there and shake hands. Give me the Spock. Very good.
No,
They can- I know.
You see
I know.
the guy at the diner was like,
That's
he
right.
gave him the 3 fingers
Yeah,
and he
gave them-
recognized
yeah.
them from the
But
Fight
they,
Club. That was cool.
They shook hands, introduced themselves. Hey,
Yeah.
And then it was like, wow. I'm like, oh no. But the bottom line is, where did he go? Did he go in the car and go up the mountain? He got out, went back to Sally Ann.
Exactly.
He said he'll
But
always
another
come
small
back.
moment that I'm talking about. So many nice little
Yeah,
quiet moments in this
Absolutely.
episode, you know?
Absolutely. Okay, we teased it. Here we go. This is the ultimate. You could tell the way she was walking at points. I was like, she's pregnant, right?
And when she stabbed herself, she kind of went to the side.
She went to the side.
Yeah.
There's the baby. Who knows? Gwen is pregnant. The Brennan. Before
Who's
we
the
move on to
baby's
some
daddy?
fan questions, whatever.
Well, she said who the baby daddy's. Or no, she didn't.
She didn't.
She said who the baby.
It's hers.
owns
It's
him.
mine.
It's hers.
It's her baby.
And I appreciate that.
So-
like, yes.
Is it Asa? And why? Is it Big Foster? And why? And who do you want it to be? And why?
I'll tell you who it's not, Big Foster, because remember when she was trying to poison him or whatever, he had trouble performing?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's his. I think it's either Asa or Little Foster. My guess is Little Foster, and I think that's what's going to kind of snap him out of it.
Interesting.
I think that's going to be the snap. I mean, it's going to have to. He's going to have to wake up and go, "Oh my God, I might be a dad." But now you're going to have I think little Big Foster's going to think it's his kid.
Because basically she's about 3 to 4 months along, which would kind of make sense in the time.
Dr. Macuga.
No,
Dr. Macuga. I can tell.
Like you hit it
How
well.
many kids do you have?
She's showing. I've watched enough.
I'm going to go to the man that.
Grey's Anatomy to know how far along.
I'm going to go to the guy that makes babies, right there, Chris Underwood.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm the only one qualified to talk about this now. I'm not.
All right. So I think it's Little Foster. I'm with you guys, but there's a strong chance it's Asa because it's definitely not Big Foster, like you said. But who knows? Because they don't have like a guy up there doing DNA tests.
Yeah, well, what happens if it is Little Foster's, but she's still married to Big Foster?
Yeah.
What is
She
that?
is.
What
She
kind
is.
of chaos? I know. What does that cause? You know?
It comes out with a.
Have they really recognized that marriage though? Because I feel like they haven't really been together.
Yeah.
They're hardcore about marriage up there.
But they haven't really
They're like
been
Mormons.
together. He's been outside the house.
Outside. Okay, that's enough from us. Listen, we are exhausted, but we're gonna go to some of your fan questions. We love you guys. Let's start with at Misty Cameron. Will Little Foster ever be loved the way he loves? Well, he definitely loves keeping that teepee open. That's for sure. Those girls love him. They sure do love him. But I think he's sitting there. It's like a little bit of a whorehouse in that teepee.
Yeah, he's still hurt.
He's still hurt.
From what they had with Gwen and Gwen marrying his father, he's still nursing that hurt.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's nursing it with 3 other women. So.
Nursing. I like that. That was good.
I make up
Well,
words.
it's nice that
I
that
make
one
words.
girl, the redhead, she had her shot at
She's
Asa,
the
and
wannabe
Asa.
Gwen. She's like
Yeah.
Gwen's sister,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Gwen's
yeah.
hot cousin up there.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
man, those girls come out of the woodwork.
Love those redheads.
But he's hurt. That's all it is. I mean, he's hurt, and he's going to do what it takes to piss her off. Excuse me.
At Dodie Barclay, I love Wade. He's trying to go between his head as sheriff and his heart, which we don't know why. He is trying to protect the mountain people. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. He's been torn since day one.
Yes.
But now, right now, he got Lil Foster out of there. But things are really about to hit the fan for Wade Houghton. He had a successful episode this week. Next week, I think this might be the
Gonna hit the fan.
Peaks and valleys. The valley's coming up.
the valley's coming up for Sheriff Wade Houghton. All right, that will do it for us here tonight on the official after show of WGN America's Outsiders. I'm Josh Macuga. Thanks always to Chris Underwood, Tiffany Commons, Nicole Sterling. She'll be back next week. Throat Pit of the Week man, Brett Wagner.
All right, Farrell fans. Hey, follow the show at Outsiders WGN on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and head on over to WGNAmerica.com for exclusive content and updates. See you next time. Until then, get ya.
Get ya!